This under 1800 fifth thesis is below the under 1800 tournament. So this was actually happened in Pudukkottai, which is basically in Tamil Nadu, which is in India. So 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 the funny thing is, before the start of this tournament, what I actually thought was this since this is an under 1800 tournament, I thought that there will be 1700 rated players and 1600 rated players. There should be around probably 40 or 50, I think. So at least 75 to 80, I expected. Worst case scenario 40 or 50. But the fun fact is, when I actually saw the leaderboard, I was in actually my initial rank was 21. I was literally shocked. The reason is, if you're in rank 21, there are so many there are so many low rated. If you drew or if you lose a game, you'll be losing some kind of bunch of ratings. So that is a problem, right? So I was in some kind of stress mode, and I was in some kind of I wasn't actually feeling good about this one. So what I actually did was, okay, my only goal is not to go for the cash prize, just to maintain my rating at least. So if possible, just to try to increase 10 points. That's my initial goal. So as usual, the unrated players was kind of more. So my first opponent was Divya Darshan, and he was an unrated. So I will generally go for e4, but if I go for e4, probably if he's too prepared, he might even get a draw. I don't want to draw against 100, so I went for b3. Let me convert to an entire middle game. b3, e5. E5 is just a standard opening. Bishop b3 and knight c6. D3. Okay, the purpose of d3 is, I want to play knight f6. If I go for knight f6, wait a minute. Okay, if I go for knight f6 directly, you push it. Um, you push this pawn. I can go for here. So he will probably take this one. So once he took this one, I'll be exchanging this one. This pawn will be weak temporarily. His knight will be here. So knight, bishop, castling, or bishop here or bishop here is also good. So not at this scenario, because my bishop won't be doing anything here for so long. So at one scenario, I'll be going to bishop b2. So in this type of scenario, I thought, why need to exchange my knight initially? So I want to keep as much peace as possible, such that you can actually create a complicated middle game, and you can try to find an edge. So d3, knight f6, knight e2. So the purpose of knight e2 again is, I want to play knight gf3. The problem is he'll be pushing it. If I take it, he'll be taking this one. If I didn't take it, if I just go for bishop takes knight, queen takes knight, and I might be a, if I take, then my rook will be hanging. So I need to move my knight. So he will probably exchange this something else. Yeah, something will be going like that. So I don't want to go to this line. So I just simply played a 92. Bishop c5. Bishop c5 is kind of interesting. Now I have some kind of problem. The problem is, let's say I'm kind of moving some kind of dumb move here. He will simply go for knight g4. Let's say let's say I play another dumb move. So bishop takes f2 is a checkmate. Or knight takes f2 forks my rook and queen. So my f I had a feeling that my f1 is kind of weak. So knight gf3. He still can play knight g4. So I have an idea of to stop this one temporarily, or I can also sack this pawn. So that's also doesn't make, and that's also should be fine. The reason is, this one is a double pawn, right? So this pawn will not be coming anywhere to support this pawn. So this pawn will be weak, probably forever, unless I'm making a mistake or something. So the game should be going tricky in any way. Even for d6, improving this light square bishop, g3, bishop e6, castle, queen d. Queen d7 is a mistake though. Actually, queen d7 is not a mistake, just not bad. Knight g5. H6 is a huge mistake. The reason is you don't actually give this let's go bishop so easily, which actually proves that your opponent actually doesn't know much of a middle game. So which means you can actually easily trick him, right? So moreover, after this one, the game changed even more funny. What I actually expected was queen takes knight, but he took with the f1. The reason he took with the f1 was I think he believed that I might take this knight, and according to his coach, maybe this is a double pawn or something, which might be weak for him. It seems I don't know what he thought. So that or he might even plan to attack my f5, which is not going to work on anyone in near future. Especially this pawn is weak. The reason is in future I can simply swing my bishop to h3 and target the pawn on e6. So there were so many plans. Yeah, the game goes. I played e4. Yeah, the engine says e3. E3 actually blocks the entire attack, but I don't see any attack right now. Even if you play knight g5, I can simply play knight f3 blocking everything and kick the knight and move my knight again if I want to. And moreover, the future queen will be coming on e2 and support this pawn. So I didn't feel any pressure. But the point of the engine e3 is so you can actually simply move the knight and put a rook f6, rook f8, queen f7, just arrange everything to this attack. But it takes a lot of time, right? So probably I should be able to survey this position easily. Pawn, pawn push, king h1. The reason is I want to play f4 as soon as possible. I want to attack him. I want to play aggressive. Knight s7, take queen g5. Knight s7 is a mistake. The reason is the knight is actually really good supporting the pawn. You don't want to move the knight. I did not understand the purpose. Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, the reason is knight s7, knight g5. Probably want to attack my pawn or something. I don't know. I don't see any use of plan here. Queen is not a huge mistake. The reason is actually the first reason he played queen is on because once I took this pawn, he can't take this pawn because his queen is hanging. So he can't take this queen takes pawn, otherwise bishop takes queen. So that is a huge problem. So he went for queen e7. I feel he should have at least gone for queen f7 or something, or rook d8 supporting the queen. Such that pawn takes pawn. Um, it's not a bad scenario. So yeah, he lost the pawn. I really don't want to give a let's go bishop, but still, since I am up a pawn and making a double one here, so I should be fine, right? So I played queen e2, knight g5. This looks kind of scary, but since there is no check on h3 or f3, there shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, f4 is a really risky move. What I should have gone was that I should simply traded this one. Knight takes, queen takes, or something. Yeah, and then and I should have arranged this one. So right now the only thing which I was concerned was my f1 was kind of too weak. So probably I should have gone for king g2 and then 95 or something. I don't know. Yeah, 95 takes. So this is what I should have done. Uh, but instead I played f4. He takes f4. First blunder. Actually, the reason for this blunder because I literally had probably 8 or 9 minutes on the clock. The time control is about 30 minutes plus 30 seconds. So once you start thinking too long, you will be running out of time. So queen h5, pawn takes pawn. Actually, I can take this pawn, or queen takes pawn is also fine. According to engine, yeah, actually queen takes pawn, king g8, take this pawn. So you really don't want to play these type of hands against unrated player, right? So this is too risky. So especially when you are having a clock time for about 7 minutes or 6 minutes. So I played h4. Actually h4 I thought this was not a blunder I thought. So yeah, it looks kind of interesting. Might look dubious in the first place, but it kind of interesting. The reason is what I should thought was his knight can go here and for once his knight can go, I can go for king h3. He can force this one. So there's a probability since I'm in a time pressure, he might thought I blundered my queen. So he might go for rook takes f4. I can sack my I mean one. So yeah, once it's knight forks and king and queen, I can go for rook takes knight. He will go for rook takes rook, and I'll take the queen takes pawn. The reason is he can't take my queen because my bishop actually have a huge eye on my on the opponent's king. So his king needs to go to g8, and I can take a rook back. So which is what I thought, and it really worked out well. So yeah, this is a huge blunder, right? Look at the bar. Minus plus 1 by 3 to plus 3.5. I sack my rook, take this one, take this one. So yeah, this completely loses the game on the spot. What she should have done is she have gone for queen e7, king h3, queen h2, king g4, rook f1. This is how we should have played. If I make one mistake, his pawn will be chasing down the board. So if I were I will have played like this. At least this would be going to crazy or something. Yeah. Bishop d6, queen here, queen here, queen here. Yeah. What if plan was now you want to come to queen f7? So this was simple. So yeah. After this, there is no game here. Okay. If you look closely, he was just moving the king to c8 and d8, right? So what I thought was, I didn't see he played literally king e8. I did right at the score sheet, but I didn't see king e8. I just made this rook, and I literally stopped the clock. The reason I thought it was checkmate, but it was not a checkmate. His king is moving f7. I really got annoyed. I play for rook f8, king here. If I push this pawn, this is a statement. This is a game. This is a draw. So I need to go for. Wait a minute. Yeah, I need to go for rook e8, king f7, rook f7. So rook e7, king f6. Now I can simply push this pawn. Yeah, now it's just a checkmate. So the game one ended well, but the game is not up to the mark. Yeah, you are careless. But the only thing which I learned was okay, this is not a 90 plus 30 game, right? 90 minutes plus 30 seconds increment game. This is a 30 minutes plus 30-second increment game, right? So what you need to do is you need to play quickly, but play with intuition. So that might work. So now my opponent is 1447. So probably he should not be making the mistakes which like the untreated did. So let the game start. So d4 b6. So d4 g6. What I should do is generally I will go for nf6, c4, g6, knight c3, bg7, e4. Sorry, e4, d6. So I'll go for the king's Indian structure. So why I didn't do it because I don't want to go to theory. I want to let him play as free as possible. He can still convert to king's Indian if he wanted to. After the nf3, I thought it's going to be king's Indian. G3, my score is not really good at the king's Indian structure, especially in this G3 variation. Okay, uh, let's see what happens. Knight f6, bishop g2, castle, castle, d5. If I didn't play d5, if I play d6, c4, probably knight d7, e4, e5. So this will convert to king's Indian, but my score is really bad in the especially in FIDE tournaments. So I just went for d5 here. He went for c4. C4 is really a good move. Actually, this guy's a really good player. The reason is this is a good move is once I take this pawn, he is once I take this pawn, his knight will be jumping to e5, e4, sorry e5. Firstly, attacking my pawn. Secondly, his bishop's really good at this diagonal, so I can't move this bishop anywhere. Otherwise, I will be losing my pawn and also the rook. So I had some kind of problems here. So I went for e6. Here I made a mistake. I meant d6. Look, last game I was in a time pressure, right? So I don't want to go to time pressure. So what I thought was just okay, let's play simply. But I know d6 is kind of weight here. I thought nothing is going to happen. Probably I should have gone for 97 or something. Okay, wait a minute. Does 97 work? Yeah, 97 works. Yeah, 97 c6. If we go for bishop here, I can simply play c6 here. C6 also fine. b3, b6. Queen c7, bishop b7, or bishop a6, anything is fine. So the game should be 0. So, so yeah, I played b6. I felt something was wrong. Yes, something was wrong. Bishop g5. This is a really good move which I overlooked. So now the problem is my center pawn is kind of hanging. Bishop e7 is forced. Yeah, knight e5 is another really good move. So my point is generally I'll be playing knight e7. Right? If I play something standard like this, I'll be losing the center pawn. Let me show you. Knight e7, pawn takes pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn, or knight takes pawn. Yeah, anything's fine for him. Anyway, we're losing the center pawn. I can't take this knight because my queen is hanging. If I take this knight, my pawn takes knight, and my knight will be hanging because my knight can't move anywhere. So I really do have a pawn. So h6 just a knight out. Okay. So what I actually thought was he will be playing some kind of queen b3 move or something, or queen c2 is also fine. Trying to give a sacrifice on g6. But the problem is, since I have a Dasker bishop, I can simply reroute my bishop to g7 and stop each and every attack. But the point is, let's say queen. Yeah, he played queen c2, right? Yeah, if not for knight c6. Yeah, knight c6 is kind of tricky move. Um, if not for knight c6, let's say play something some kind of a6 move. What I actually thought, what he planned here was knight take g6, pawn take g6, queen take g6, bishop g7, queen takes e6. So which means you will get 3 pawns for this pawn. Moreover, you lost almost the center, all the center pawns, and you'll be losing this pawn of the zone. So you are in a really great trouble. The other thing is, actually this line is not forced. Knight at g6, f to g6, queen to g6. I can simply play king h8. I had some variation, but overall, you really don't want to play this type of scenario, especially when your center is under huge pressure. I don't want to go this because you need to play too accurately. Actually, this guy's actually compensating the position kind of easily, right? So, psychologically speaking, I really don't want to go go in this type of scenario. At least not not with this guy. Knight c6. Okay, actually, here you can also go for the knight g6. Now the problem with this guy is I will take this pawn first, attack this queen. So after this, I will be taking this pawn. So even if you manage to take two or three pawn, firstly this knight will be covering this pawn. So I will be losing this pawn even if I play bishop g7. So I should be fine. Moreover, my knight will be jumping here and there, and e2 is also kind of weak. So I thought knight c6 is good, but it's kind of hard to find, especially when you practice knight d7 more often. It is really kind of hard to find it because otherwise probably you can actually play simply c6 and then 97. So this also makes sense. So yeah, the reason another reason which is kind of risky because the queen is already with the open file, and more of this bishop is kind of unprotected. After this exchange, might be my bishop pen might be in the risky scenario. So yeah, that's one of the reason which means knight c6 is kind of hard to find. Queen d7 takes. Yeah, bishop c4. Okay. Yeah. Actually, bishop c4 was kind of a desperate move just to win this game. First, yeah, he was in some kind of time pressure, probably like 8 or 9 minutes. I went for bishop c4, even for rook e1. First, I didn't expect this move. Wow, what I was thinking was I was expecting this one, I expecting this one. Uh, Sometimes in some scenarios, I also expect this one. I thought this one. Because once he play this knight, I might be forced to take this one, which reduce the double bishop scenario in the end game. Otherwise, his queen will be attacking bishop. I expected this one also, but this move is completely out of the box because when you play rook a8, I thought of all the calculation not to too deep level because this is not 90% right? Since I have some kind of 5 or 6 minutes advantage, you don't want to go. But this move was kind of I thought okay, I can make him take this pawn. I don't want to calculate too much. I just take this one. Simply, I thought it was a nothing move. But here is a really good move. E5, another completely outplayed move. This position is completely winning for white. And for bishop g7, he took this pawn immediately. The reason is, I used to tell whenever I actually prepare with my friends or something, friends or I coach my friends, right? I used to tell whenever you're playing from back, even if you're if you're going for a pawn down scenario, don't try to give this dark square bishop. Similarly for white, don't try to give this light square bishop. You can give the light square bishop in black side, and you can give the dark square bishop from white side. So what he did was he simply took this pawn, which is a really mistake. So what he should have done is he should have kicked my bishop out, bishop a6, and then took the knight. So the c6 is under attack. I I can't play c6 because he'll be playing knight f6. My queen is under attack. More than this knight will be checking the king. So I really have a great trouble. I did see this knights. Since he's in a time pressure, he just simply took simple variation. Because according to the rating wise, I'm 1596, right? So he's 1447. So technically speaking, wait a minute. Yeah. Technically speaking, all you need is getting a draw yourself fine, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So I feel okay, not bad in a time pressure scenario. I get the pawn, rook takes rook. I thought of giving this queen. The reason is I once I take this note is a check. King g7, pawn takes uh, pawn takes knight. Now I'll be having double rook bishop versus queen, so that is really good. So yeah, this should not be a problem. So he took the queen. Queen takes rook is really good because you don't want to give a center pawn. At least giving a side pawn is fine. Okay, first you should not get the you should not take the center pawn directly. First, I prefer to kick the knight out. The reason I did it because if I take this pawn directly, I have a e6 problem. Let me tell you exactly what actually going on. Queen takes a2, e6. Let's say playing pawn takes knight takes pawn. It actually forces my bishop and knight. I can't take queen takes knight because rook is actually supporting the knight. So if I move the rook to somewhere here, he will take my bishop. King takes bishop. Queen here check. King h7, and probably rook e8 or something. So I'll be some kind of huge pressure. Yeah, the game should be zero, but the pressure is. I mean, I when your opponent is on time pressure, you really don't want to give some these type of easy moves. So what I did was I kicked this knight out. So here he can play e6. So I would simply take the knight. So if he moves some queen here or something, then probably I should. Yeah, yeah. I will simply exchange this queen, and then I will simply take this pawn. So this won't be a problem. So he moved this knight. I took this pawn. Knight e7. Okay, this is good. Okay, this is a huge blunder. The reason is I think he should have gone for queen c2 or something. Yeah, this was a force move. What I felt was queen d2 was kind of better. I didn't understand the difference between queen d2. Yeah, the reason queen d2 was better because queen c2, rook c8. By the way, he can actually move the knight back with the support. So yeah, queen d2 was the best move. I knew queen d2 was the best move, but he went for the queen d3, and I think in the last 1 minute or 2 minutes, he really didn't have time. What his plan was, once I take this pawn, he can simply push this pawn. If I take this pawn, he can simply take queen takes pawn. My king will be here. So that's a huge attack going on, but nothing is actually happening to me. Once this pawn is gone, right? This my queen will be here. So his f pawn is weak. So I'll be playing rook f1. Okay, it is minor manageable. At least he can actually secure a draw easily. So that's what he planned. But that's some kind of loophole in this time pressure scenario. E6 is a huge blunder. The reason is it forks the rook and queen. It's a rook and knight with the queen. I played queen b4, rook here, queen takes knight, takes, rook f4 takes. He resigned the game. The reason is he's a complete piece down with the pawn down also. So obviously he's losing. So overall, I feel like this guy is kind of underrated. This guy should be around 1600 strength. Yeah, he needs to probably playing probably 90 plus 30 starting. So after few tournaments, probably he should be starting to play at 30 plus 30 because both requires actually a completely different strategy. In 90 plus 30, you need to keep on thinking. You need so much energy. Probably you need to at least sit for 4 hours, 5 hours. That's not an easy job. In 30 plus 30, that's not a scenario. But your intuition to be sharp and you really don't want to give some like tactical shots. Okay, here comes the third round. Third round, obviously everybody will be tired. So this guy was 1488. So the rating is casually increasing for me in my opponent's strength. So I went for b3 again. B3, D5, B. I don't know what's the setup. I generally play this one. Okay, I now had D3 move, D4 move, D3. If I played only D3, I can go for knight E2. Maybe E4 break, maybe C4 break. I had this one. Okay. Why do you want to play a close position when you really have an open position? So I just went for D4. C4. This is going to be a complicated one. Here he started spending some kind of time. That's good for me. Castle. Yeah, this is really casual. This is really casual. The I what I should thought was I'm not losing any pawns, right? So pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn. Uh, actually, bishop takes pawn is not forced. I'll just take the knight first, and then bishop takes pawn. So I thought nothing's going to happen, but according to engine variation, so actually what I thought a bishop d4 first. So this is a really bad position, which I didn't think. Completely missed. Actually, I didn't care to think. That's the problem. If it's a 90 plus 30, I would have probably spent probably 15 to 20 minutes. You don't have the luxury, right? Yeah, you just go on with the intuition. Uh, the actual engine moves this one. This is a really terrible question. As I told you before, you really don't know to get the light square bishop. Probably I might end up losing this one. Yeah. Okay, I got the start Dasker bishop according to engine line, but I'm not really feeling good about this scenario. I think black has advantage. Yeah, black has advantage. But he thought for a long time he blundered this one. As I told you before, just because you are getting a pawn up or something, you don't want to give your task a bishop. It's really too active, especially when you're playing against a player who's an aggressive player or something. You don't want to give you an active piece. What he actually planned was is knight want to reroute here and take my pawn easily because the this pawn is supported by only by this pawn. So if I take this bishop, knight will become here. If I try to support with f4, okay, f4, his knight will be swinging here and giving a 4 for queen, rook, bishop. This is what he planned. So I can't play f4 now. I can simply take this. If e4 is really good. So now I'm giving huge pressure to this center. He can't take because his knight is hanging. So he needs to take this pawn. Um, so I might be in a isolated pawn. So but the problem is isolated pawn is not a huge issue for me. He went for bishop a6. The plan is once I play rook e1, his knight will be jumping to knight d3, forming a rook bishop. So probably I'll be saving my bishop here, and he'll be taking my rook. Queen takes rook. So this should be plus position for him. So but what he didn't calculate was I had knight c4, which I can sack a pawn because my two bishops are really good, right? So I really didn't care if I lose my pawn or not. So he went for bishop a6. That is the only reason he played bishop e5 in the first place. He thought he's winning, but he's not. Knight takes knight. Okay, here he has two options. He can go for bishop takes knight, bc4, knight c4, bishop c. Wait a minute. This is an engine line, huh? Okay, this one is really good. Okay. I didn't calculate this one. What I actually calculated was we have double bishop, right? I simply go for bishop c6 or something. Double bishop versus double knight. Okay, these pawns are really good. I I thought of playing a a4 in this scenario, stopping this pawn temporarily. Yeah, okay, engine might actually get a draw, but human percept, I should be able to trick this guy. So this shouldn't have a problem. The reason he didn't take with the yeah he took with the knight because what he thought was first is a plus position. Once I took this one, he can't take this one. The reason is my queen will be forking this bishop, and there's a huge checkmate sequence. So I do this, and he probably thought for 2 or 3 minutes. He simply blundered this piece. I'm winning on the spot. Queen g4 takes, f6 takes, f6. Actually, knight e5 is a huge blunder. He probably should have just gone for g6. So takes, takes. Now the problem is I'm just a bishop up temporarily, but after this move, I'll be in a whole rook up. See, I'm a complete rook up scenario. He played for few more times. I mean, few more moves. Yeah, the scenario he resigned. The reason is it's not about the taking the pawn. Firstly, you can't touch this pawn. Moreover, my rook will be taking this pawn and we're going for a checkmate sequence. There are so many things going on here. There's no way on hell actually this guy is going to survive this one. So yeah, he basically resigned. So at round three, I was actually on 3 by 3. So the day one got actually over successfully. So probably I should be on the leaderboard. There are so many players on 3 on 3 and 3 on 3. Yeah, that's a long way to go, right? So yeah, right now started well. The game is not so up to the mark. Yeah, one or two. Okay, this game is not so bad. The previous game, he almost squeezed me out. Literally just survived the question. Okay, let's see. Let's see tomorrow about that. I'll cover the next 3 rounds tomorrow.